All right. More dad poems. No wolves in these ones. Song of the Red Jack Handle. I never used it, but I would have. Me and the homies always had beef with someone, but no more, I thought, than the average 16-year-old back then. I never asked, but every few days I would, upon entering my hatchback, lean forward in the driver's seat and feel for the red metal handle I hid there, a reassurance, only to find it gone, back in the garage when I checked, attached again to my father's car jack. This was the conversation he and I had, our quiet back and forth. And when he took the handle back the first time, I imagine that was him saying, "Mijo." And when I noticed it missing, I answered, "You don't know me. You can tell me anything," his gesture said. "I won't tell your mother." Handle in my hand, I rolled it back to where it belonged, and alone in the car said, "I'm not that boy keeping up behind you at the swap meet." "I love you," he'd say to the handle, maybe, placing it back in the garage. "I love you too," I called out those nights when I dropped the handle beneath the seat. But I must go now.
Yeah.
This one's called Observations in Yahualica, Jalisco, Mexico, where my father was born, 2017. Every few minutes, a bus pulling up, then away. A work truck groans going over a speed bump. Today, the clouds are muscular, a rainless white. Across the street, the tight snaps of a welding torch. An old man with the build of a coat hanger walks with a jacket folded over his arm, his checkered shirt, his blue khakis. Another man in a black Atlanta Braves hat, its bright red A. He carries a walking cane down the middle of the street. Everyone, I learn, is named after the dead. A man grips a bicycle wheel by the rim, cigarette plugging his mouth. Another man spits into the cracks in the street. I watch the older men amble up and down, but only years later will my memory of them make me think of my father. A little boy in the back of a pickup truck waves a long branch at the parked cars and arm-crossed adults along the sidewalk. It is evening again, and we all want to be some kind of tree. Maybe all I've ever wanted was a history I could make my way back to, turbulent but mine. After someone dies, white tents go up in front of the house for a formal viewing. Respects are paid for the next couple days. Wanting to know what happened, my tia will ask a neighbor. Translated in my head, I'll hear her say, "Who do we lack?" Every cloud is named after its mother. My Tío Ismael, wearing aviator sunglasses, locks the door to his muffler shop, crosses the street to his home. All day, people in the streets on mopeds, motorcycles, and ATVs. Passing the white tents, they calm their engines, make the sign of the cross. A dead rooster in the grass, beak in the dirt, its bright red comb the 4 equal parts of a fire. This isn't the end, but it feels like it. The next day, the local sculptor cuts from quarry rock what will become a cross or the Virgin Mary. Someone, my tia tells me, keeps putting fresh flowers where they found the body. Cada sábado, she says. I'd like to pause here a moment, with boys chasing pigeons. Perhaps to be urged into flight is enough. A woman leans against the small fence at the west end of the pueblo where, 2 hours away by bus, the ocean keeps turning. Thank you. This is fucking cool. This is the last poem. Thank you again all for coming out. I always love coming up to the cities for reading and just to be up here. My father at 82. And what I had once believed the world had picked clean from me about who we could be to one another was not, after all, true. Home again, my mother, unable to perform the task, asks if I can trim my father's beard, clipper case in her hand. In the garage, I oil the machine, I clean the blades. And because I've never known how to start a conversation between my father and me, I play music. Vicente Fernandez, thumb on the switch, my father looks out at his driveway. Through the buzzing, he speaks in Spanish. I answer, I try. Something about a friend who sang with Chente, but who didn't want to do all the small gigs. Something about a place he hasn't seen since he was young, and how life goes like that. I point my father's chin toward the light. The sun warms the day beyond us. I brush his cheek as I would my own. He hums to the tune, and I feel it, my forearm over his chest. When have we ever been this close? I blink and blink once more. Done, I dust the hairs from his neck. Slow strokes across his shoulders. Look up at me, I ask, and he does. Thank you.